Welcome back. The Eurozone summit was cancelled and resumed as finance ministers and leaders took time out to discuss the Greece bailout. Leaders have been discussing new proposals put on the table by their finance ministers, but there is also a draft statement on the side which supposedly provides a solution should no agreement be reached.
Sunday was the second day for scheduled discussions on the Greece bailout, but leaders have obviously gotten nowhere with the talks and had to cancel because they said the talks had become very difficult. According to Germany's finance minister, discussions have gotten more in-depth, and the issue of credibility and trust and the financial issues involved have already been discussed. But the talks remained complicated, and leaders said it was unlikely there would be any breakthrough on Sunday. Talks also centered around keeping Greece in the Eurozone. The country's Prime Minister Alexis Tsipras will be required to push legislation through Parliament from Monday, July the 13th, to convince his 18 partners in the monetary union to release immediate funds to avert the country being bankrupt and begin negotiations on a third bailout program.
We just finished our meeting. We've come a long way, solved a lot of issues, but some big issues still remain. So we're now going to inform the leaders and they can discuss and hopefully decide on those last issues. Thanks.
Meanwhile, some laws will need to be passed on Wednesday and the entire package endorsed by Parliament before talks can start. The European Union is expected to present a draft statement which says Greece needs €7 billion by July the 20th, when it must make a crucial bond redemption to the European Central Bank and the total of €12 billion by mid-August, when another ECB payment will be due. The draft, however, did not say how these needs would be met, while finance ministers have not yet agreed on emergency finance. But Ireland's Taoiseach Enda Kenny said European Union leaders have a huge responsibility towards Europe.
We don't want to look back in 10 years' time and have a situation whereby this could have been saved but wasn't. So it does now mean that the Greeks have got to demonstrate in their parliament their intent and their seriousness on making the changes and starting to implement in a really serious way what can bring about a functioning Greek economy that will be able to stay in the Eurozone.
As for Greece's tourists, reaching a deal could take time.
Political institutions in Greece were wrong about the last decades, and it's now the moment to have some change in Greece, I think. As far as I'm concerned, I'm convinced that Tsipras and his staff can do that change.
Greece is asking creditors for €53.5 billion to cover its debts until 2018. That amount, however, could go as high as €74 billion as the country seeks restructuring of its massive debt, which it says is unsustainable.
Coming up on the program, stay with us when we are joined on the program by Nigeria's ambassador to Greece to get first-hand experience of the country.